Hey guys, the purpose of this video is to instruct you on our assignment number one. If you remember in the initial video, in the introductory video, I told you that you would have 4 R assignments. And I promised you at that time that I wouldn't require you to do anything but just follow instructions. In other words, I'm not going to ask you to come up with code. I'm not going to ask you to create anything, to do anything really creative. Just be able to follow instructions. So that's the purpose of this video, is to illustrate to you what I want you to do with the different data sets. So that's the way it's going to be played. I'm going to work an assignment that's identical to the assignment that you will submit for a grade. Same questions, just a different data set. All right? So, gang, the first thing I want to do is let's go to your Blackboard site, and I'm putting this video up for my Stat 1150 in spring 2017, and I may use this video in future classes. So if I do, just choose the year, this semester in class that you are taking. Now, somewhere you're going to see a folder called R Assignment Number 1, and for this particular term, being spring 2017, the R assignment number 1 is due February 15th, which is a Wednesday at 11 p.m. So I'm going to click this and I'll get all my information. Now, the 2 subfolders in here, this is R assignment number 1. This is what you're going to do. So there's your assignment and there's your data set for the assignment. But I think it would be pretty silly to jump into that and not watch the instructional video where I'm going to tell you how to do what you need to do to get a good grade. All right, so let's click this, and you'll see that there are 3 things. First of all, the video that you're currently watching is linked to that right there. There's a data set that I will use, and there's an assignment that I will use for the illustration. So the very first thing I want to do is I want to open up these 2 files, the assignment and the data set. Now, first thing I want to do is open up the instructional video data set, and you'll see that in the instructional video data set, if it, okay, there it goes, that I kept it very simple. Let's make this larger where you can see it. So there's really only 4 variables, well, technically only 3, because the first one's your ID. This is a score of some sort. This is gender, male or female, and this is handedness, which is left hand or right hand. All right? So the very first thing I want to do is I want to do a save as, and I want to save this on my desktop. And I don't want my data set to have a long, complicated name like instructional video R assignment. I don't want that. So I'm just going to save this as just data set. Keep it simple, folks. Save it to my desktop, and I want it in a comma separated values format. I'm going to hit save, and I'm going to go to my desktop just to make sure that it's there, and you can see that it is. That's an old data set I have. I don't need it anymore. So I've got data set on my desktop. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to get into R, and I want to import that data set into R so I can work my assignment. So the very first thing I want to do is I want to get my working directory so I can see what format I need to use to set my working directory. So guys, my working directory is currently set at just users ddarbro, but I want this to be users ddarbro desktop. So now I'm going to set my working directory. So guys, now read from left to right. It's got to be everything you see, including the quotations, but after the name, we'll have to put desktop. So reading from left to right, what do I see first? Well, I see quotation. Then I see backslash. users capitalized, Darbro. Now, gang, if you're working on Windows, or a PC, I should say, you may have users, your name, it could be documents, it could be downloads, whatever it is, you need to replace that with desktop. So if you have, for example, documents that you see right here, then you need to replace that documents with desktop. Don't type desktop after documents unless you want to get it wrong and drive yourself insane. If you want to do that, then don't listen to me. But guys, the desktop needs to come right after the name. So when you hit enter, you'll see nothing happens, which is good. If nothing happens in R, if you don't get like these red errors, it means you've done it correctly. Now, what we've told R to do is we've told it to go to the desktop to look for files. So now we're going to bring that file in. I'm just going to call this data, and I'm going to use what's called a read.csv command in R. Quotation, I called my data set, and I have to put the extension .csv. Now again, if you hit enter and nothing happens, it means it's been executed. You don't see your data unless you type data, and it doesn't do anything. So guys, the next thing we need to do is just type attach data. We can't do any commands, no statistical commands through R until we attach our data set. And now, a lot of people like to see their data, and if you do, I really wouldn't recommend this because it's the data set you're going to use for your assignment is really, really huge. I forget what the sample size is, but it's pretty large. So, I wouldn't do that, but I'm going to do it here just for an illustration. If you type data, you will see your data set. Well, boys and girls, we are now ready to start working our problems. So if you remember, we downloaded a couple of files, and the other one is the homework assignment that we're going to use R. Why is it not moving? There we go. That we're going to use R to work. All right. Make this larger so you can see it. Now, the first question says, prepare a table that displays the frequency in each subgroup across gender and handedness. How many females are left-handed? So what I'm going to do here is, okay, let me back up a little bit. To communicate to R that you are talking to someone, let's just say, in this case, you're going to be talking to me. You have to start that type of communication with a hashtag. So when I put a hashtag, R knows that I'm not trying to input a statistical command. I'm talking to someone. So again, you're going to be talking to me. So I'm going to put hashtag question number 1. And then I'm going to prepare a table that displays the frequencies. Well, the way you do that is, first of all, you give it a name, and then you do your kind of save as command, and then you use xtabs. Now, xtabs starts out with a tilde. It's up in the very upper left hand of your keyboard. And I want to do this over gender and handedness. Now, guys, notice the gender is all lowercase. And I use a plus because that's the way the command is set up. And then handedness is just capital H-A-N-D. I hit enter, nothing happens. That means we've done it correctly. There's no errors. So I type table and I see my table. So what I can see, I'm asked ultimately how many females are left-handed. Well, I can come to the female line and I can see that there are 2 that are left-handed. So answer to question number 1 is 2. All right, question number 2. Prepare a table that displays the proportion of subgroups in gender over handedness. Well, this is something I showed you in a previous video, so you know, obviously no, you're not going to remember everything in my videos, but it's something you've seen before. So I'm going to do the same thing. Question number 2. And now I'm going to do the command. Well, guys, to get the proportions, you use what's called a prop.table, and I'm going to use it of table because that's what I named my table back here. Now, I didn't save it as anything like I did back here, so the command came up when I implemented it. So, see, back here, when I implemented this X tabs, I saved it as table, so I had to type table before I saw it. This I didn't. I just went straight forward prop table table, and you know, get what I'm ultimately looking for there. It's a good idea to do this if you're ever going to create something that's going to be used in the future. So didn't need it here. So what proportion of males are right-handed? Well, I can come to the male line, and I can see that the proportion who are right-handed is 30%. So I'm going to go hashtag. Answer to question number 2 is 0.30 or 30%. All right, so I'm through questions 1 and 2. So number 3, what are the mean and standard deviation for scores? So hashtag. Question number 3. So to get the mean of score, I just type mean of score. And to get the standard deviation of score, I just type SD of score. So there's nothing to write there because the answers to question number 3 are right below. Now, guys, I don't want just the answers. I could care less if you didn't tell me the, well, I can say I can't care less, but what I want to see is I want to see that you found these values using R. That's where you get credit. Some administrators decided a few years ago that students taking this level course needed to be able to use statistical software. So this is the part that's built into the class to ensure that you have at least some experience using statistical software. In this case, it's R. All right, question number 4. Now let me show you what happens if you don't put the hashtag. If I put question number 4, it's going to come up an error because it thinks the question is a statistical command, and it's not. I'm just putting the question number 4 there to communicate that I'm getting ready to work that particular question. All right, so prepare a histogram of score and describe the distribution shape. Well, guys, to do a histogram, it's just HIST, and I want to do it of score. Remember, it's all lowercase. And I hit enter, and you see that I get a histogram. Guys, this is a positively skewed distribution. So I'm going to come in. It's positively skewed. All right, guys, final question. What, find the mean and standard deviation for score across gender. Well, guys, to do this, when you're trying to find, okay, let's think what we got here. We got score, which is a quantitative variable. We got gender, which is a categorical variable. We have to do more than just mean and SD to find those when we want the mean and standard deviation separated across males and females. Well, the way we do that is we use something called T-apply. I know that's not intuitively clear. This is why you watch the instructional video, so I can teach you this stuff. So for T-apply, you need 3 things. The first thing you need is the quantitative measure. And in this problem, it's score. The second thing you need is the categorical variable, which in this case is gender. Remember, gender was all lowercase. The third thing you need is you need the statistical measure, the numerical summary measure, the numerical summary, I should say, that you want to find. Well, what we want to do here is we're going to do the mean first. All right? So we can see that the mean score for females is 15.5, and the mean score for males is 13.0. Now, I want to do the same thing to find the standard deviation. And a shortcut for that is just to hit the up arrow, and it will take you up to the previous line. It kind of takes it up and brings it down. So all I need to do is change mean to SD, and I can get the standard deviation for score across gender. So you can see that the standard deviation for score across females is 1.87, and the standard deviation across score for males is 4.08. All right, guys, I'm done. So now I'm going to get rid of this assignment. I don't need it anymore. And I'm going to make this larger. Now I'm going to show you how I want you to submit your assignment for credit. Guys, what you're going to have to do here is you're going to have to learn to take a screenshot. So I want you to scroll down to where it starts right up here with Get Working Directory. All right? So now if you're working on a Mac, you go Shift Command 3, and you're going to hear a click when I do that. Hopefully you heard that. Now down here you're going to see that I kind of ended off with hands, so I'm going to scroll on down and do it again. So 2 screenshots should take care of everything. Now those screenshots are going to be on your desktop, just like mine are here, so I can open one and show you that there's one. And I can open the other and show you that there's a second one. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go to your email, and you're going to set up, create a new, you're going to send it to me. Had a girl last, I don't know if it was last semester or the semester before. She wanted to spell my name incorrectly. She spelled it D-A-R-B-O instead of D-A-R-B-R-O, and because of it, she evidently was a slow learner because she did it twice. She submitted her assignments late. She waited till the last minute to do them and didn't spell my name correctly. She lost 50%. Guys, if this thing, I don't care what the reason is, if this thing isn't submitted by February the 15th at 11 p.m., you're going to lose 50%, and you're not submitting it after the midterm. So, all right, add a subject. I would do our assignment number 1. And then I'm going to come down to attachment. I'm going to go to my computer, and I'm going to select the 2 attachments. You can either do them one by one or at the same time. And I'm going to attach as copies. So these 2 screenshots are going to be attached. You're going to send it to me. It's going to open up. So when I get it, I'm going to open up your email. I'm going to open up both of your attachments, check to make sure that the work is there and it's correct, and you're going to get a 100 out of 100 on your assignment, hopefully. All right? Now, let's say, I just showed you that it's very, very, very easy to do a screenshot with Mac. Again, it's just Shift Command 3 at the same time. But how do you do a screenshot for PC? Well, guys, just type it in. And there were 133 million hits on getting a screenshot on a PC. So don't be telling me that you couldn't submit your assignment because you couldn't figure out how to do a screenshot. There are 133 million hits telling you how to do that. Honestly, what I would do is I would go to videos. I would probably go to YouTube. How to take a screenshot on a PC. What is this? Oh, it's a whopping 40 seconds. Guys, it's simple. It really is simple. All right, gang. I'm done. Again, if you are taking this assignment or this class in the spring of 2017, our assignment number 1 is due by 11 p.m. Wednesday, February the 15th. It's the day after Valentine's Day, so don't forget it. It's worth 100 points, just like your My Math Lab assignments. Take care.